Hello and welcome everybody into the No Hype Zone. I am Seth.
This is Lance.
Are you putting on chapstick right now?
Yeah, I got to, man. I didn't get a chance to get my camera person, my makeup crew to all hook up, man. We ain't get the camera. We need more camera. We need more sponsors, so like and subscribe right now, please, so we can get more sponsors.
Yes.
You know, we can make up and all that.
And tell your friends. And then hopefully we say something that kind of strikes a chord and you're like, what? Yep. And then you want to comment about it because, you know, it's so egregious or so, you know, way out of left field. Or you might agree with something that we say and be like, hey, you know, it's a pretty good idea, you know?
I agree with everything you say all the time. You know?
Incorrect. Anyway.
With that too.
Episode 35.
35.
Greek Freak.
No, he's 34. Ha ha! He's trying to jump the gun. KD.
Shoot, I don't have a 35.
I got one.
I'm trying to think like 35 hockey, nothing. Basketball, I'm sure there's a bunch. I just can't, on the top of my head. 35 and like running backs are like 34, 32, 35?
Yeah, KD 30. He was 35, but now he's now he's 7 with Brooklyn.
Oh, that's like a derivative of 35, right? Because 7 times 5 is 35.
I never thought of that.
Just like, ready for this one? So, the first guy in the NBA to get a special number exemption was who?
You got?
Okay, Dennis Rodman. And I'll tell you what, so in basketball, just a little quick one for you. You're only allowed to have like numbers 1 through 15. Then there's no 16, 17, 18, 19, then 20 through 25, no 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 through 30, so on and so forth, up to 55. There's nothing over 55. Want to know why? Because when you get a foul, when the ref goes to the bench, hey, number 31 with the foul, you can't go 36.
Right.
You can't do that, right? So, but Dennis Rodman was the first guy to get an exemption with 91 because his number was 10.
Right.
So 9 plus 1 is 10.
There you go.
So there's just a little anecdote for you.
So how did George Michael, wasn't he 99 or 90?
Was he 99?
I think he had.
That might have been before that rule was set in place because that's like the Los Angeles or the Minneapolis Lakers from like 1947.
I remember in high school and grammar school, when we used to pick our numbers, it was certain numbers that you can get. Where I came from, Chicago, it was hard to get to number 23. Everybody wanted.
We talked about that last week. Everybody wanted. It's like the sacred, most hallowed number. I think in all of sports.
Yep. I took number 13 because I like Kendall Gill, who played.
I remember him for Charlotte.
Yeah,
I remember him. Oh my goodness,
crazy about him. We played with the Flying Illini. We had Bardo. We had Lowell Hamilton. That '89 Flying Illini team just blew my brains. And make a long story short, I fell in love with the number 13. Plus, I had like Reggie Miller. So at the same time, and Reggie Miller, he was 31 for the Pacers, so that was a flip, and I just went with 13 because I figured that was the shooter's number. So, but yeah, 35. So 35, KD.
35. Okay. So Lance has got a topic for us. You want to start out with? Let's fire away.
Basically, the umbrella effect. The umbrella effect. You know, this year we're approaching 2020, the millennium. We're gonna see next level freak athletes. Every year we see a new athlete that's evolving, and we always get into that topic of who's better, who's the GOAT, who's the greatest. If Michael Jordan would have been able to have a Michael Jordan to study from his whole life, Michael Jordan would have been better than Michael Jordan. I know that might be crazy.
That's right, because he was his own thing.
Actually, David Thompson and Dr. J was the umbrella for him. David Thompson played for North Carolina State. And Dr. J, who was in the NBA, was his umbrella. So he took it to another level. Then you had Kobe, who took it to another level from Michael Jordan. Then, you know, you got the players that's right now, you got different players. They may not be as excellent as Michael Jordan, but they had the same spirit of Michael Jordan.
And you got like a LeBron who's kind of like
a pseudo Magic and a Michael.
Very much like Magic.
He's a mix. He's a mixture. But every year, and now we're going to a new decade, there's players that just blow our head. I believe in Zion Williamson is that player. You got football players. You got Patrick Mahomes, who's next level.
Yeah, man, he's you build your franchise around somebody like that.
Yep.
Not only is he, he has it up here, but that arm strength and just what he can do with that arm is just ridiculous.
Right. You got the baseball player. You got Acuna coming up from the Braves. You got all of the
Tatis and the Padres.
And the Padres. Bellinger and all them other.
Yep.
But you certain talents that you know that they're going to change the way we look at sports. They call Zion a mutant right now. So with that being said, one of the questions I want to ask you is, if you can, in the comment section, who's the player that you've recognized and identified as that umbrella player? That player that's going to birth a whole nother generation of athletes. We know that down the line there's going to be players that's going to do more than what Zion's doing. At one point in time, we all thought that LeBron James was the it. You couldn't
or
get
even Michael Jordan was like it.
You can't
get any higher than Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Well,
yep. You got Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball from the side and pretty much can blindfold, and you got Odell Beckham catching the balls with one hand.
Yeah, kids practice now because of that.
It's like, actually, I seen that in the game several times last week in the college game. I forget the college game I was watching, but yeah, that's a regular now, and that's what made me kind of think of this topic of players that just changed the way that we do. So
yeah, I would say Odell's definitely a guy that is doing that right now. Can even say in hockey, like Sidney Crosby, changed his stick is straight. He doesn't have a curve in his stick; it is straight. That's just the style that he has. Maybe some kids are emulating that right now. Ovechkin with his flair and his tenacity, guys like to copy that. I think basketball. I mean, Kevin Durant. I mean, let me tell you this now. So the reason why Steph Curry is so popular is because short guys now feel like they have a chance, in a sense of like, hey, he's only 6'3". I'm only going to be 5'11". If I had to learn how to drain threes, I could be on a team. I don't have to be 6'8", win the genetic lottery to play basketball anymore. Which is, I think that's why he's a very popular, transcendent player for basketball. That's something you can practice. Right. But then again, is that practicing thing for the next topic, or is it still this topic?
No, but you're hitting something on the head, and actually, that's a great point. That's the reason why the surge of Golden State fans.
Big time surge,
because
coming out of the woodwork.
I thought it was all like Klay Thompson, but really what it was is people identified themselves closer to a Steph Curry than anybody else in the league, and they seen like, okay, playground. If I get a little shot, it's like David and Goliath. They give me a slingshot and I can knock down all these giants just with a good jump shot. Yeah. So that was good that you brought that up about Steph Curry.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Baseball. Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, everyone tried to be like him. He's a good guy to emulate your game after.
That guy from the White Sox who won the batting championship.
Tim Anderson. My new favorite player, man, Tim Anderson.
And he was, he was talked about all season long, like, how dare this cat comes in there. I know Patrick probably had a problem with him back.
Yeah, he doesn't like him.
Yeah, and this guy end up, is doing what Patrick loves the best, is making contact on the ball instead of swinging for the fences, just making good contact and getting the ball in play.
Ended up getting 335, I think, was his batting average. Yeah. And then Patrick, I know you're out there, you're all upset because he came out in the last game halfway through so he can conserve his batting average title.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, so he's a little upset about that. He's like, well, Ted Williams didn't, come out of the game. Tony Gwynn didn't come out of the game after his 9 batting championships.
Well, and Patrick has a point to that. And that's the difference between this generation and last generation. The knowledge and the information that these guys have, they analytics, they're more sophisticated, they're more bougie, more diva.
They are more diva, man.
Yeah.
Like, for example, look at all these guys. I understand you're trying to brand yourself. Right. Totally fine. But you need to focus on your sport first. I feel like branding yourself after your career is over will be more beneficial to you than doing it now.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example, okay? Carmelo Anthony tried to brand himself a lot while he played. And I feel like that kind of hurt him a little bit. That's just my opinion, okay? Same thing with, I'm going to say, Baker Mayfield is in 13 commercials this offseason. 13. Just same thing with Mark Franchise or Mark Sanchez, right? With GQ model, focusing on that wasn't focused on your sport. I feel like your time in your sport and your lifespan is super short. Make the best of it. Brand yourself after. Be like, hey, I won. That's my brand. Right. And then you have, when you retire at 35, you have 45 years of branding you can do after that.
Yeah, but the problem with that, and you're absolutely right with that, because I've noticed that trend with Becker too, and he couldn't wait to come out with that comment the other day telling everybody, if anybody fell off the bandwagon, don't try to get back on now, and pretty much like that? Baker, because he had a good game, he had that one good game, but I think he kind of knew that You know, he kind of lost a little focus. Every time you turn around, every commercial is him. But with that being said, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan because of that.
He didn't market himself at all. It's just I won, I'm a winner, and then boom.
But no, he was branded. I'm gonna tell you
he was with the shoes, but he didn't try to go out and do it himself.
No,
he didn't waste his time doing that.
But in Chicago, you would see Hanes commercial. You would see. I remember the first Jordan commercial when he was banned, and I was a kid and I was mesmerized.
Was it banned Jordan commercial?
It was like, you know, you couldn't wear those red and black. You couldn't wear the red and black Jordans.
Yeah.
And you know, I lived for the All-Star games because I knew that the black versions of whatever the Air Jordan signature shoes was going to be debuted either because he was wearing them in the game.
Yeah.
And there was going to be some type of Bugs Bunny commercial or some type of Spike Lee commercial or something that was next level for that. What that did was that made Michael Jordan be bigger than life to the opponent. Certain players got intimidated with that because they didn't just see the player, they seen the brand. They seen the Air Jordan, they didn't see Michael Jordan. And those players, those are the ones that Michael could talk to and pretty much puppetize. So to that, I agree with, stay focused in your sports, specialize that, brand yourself. But if you are going to go ahead and brand yourself, then make sure that when you brand yourself, you're not sitting there putting up a bunch of L's or putting up a bunch of stupid stuff. And at the same time, you looking at Antonio Brown, he did all those Pizza Hut and all those commercials last year, and I was saying, why are they sponsoring this guy? And this guy is not even really into it with the Steelers. And sure enough, he kept getting sponsors, even to the point where he got a helmet sponsorship from Oakland, the Oakland situation, not from Oakland, but from that Oakland situation. Okay. And all the sponsors had to jump out the boat because they realized he was a head case and he wasn't, you know, I'm not going to talk about him, but, you know, we all know the situation with Antonio Brown. So focus on your sport.
Yes, and that's a good thing. Look, when we were on the radio, what was the thing that all those guys we interviewed, we said, hey, what advice can you give these young kids? They're like, stay off social media, just focus on your sport. Yep. You know? So, yeah, man.
So the next one would be, we was talking about players asking for trade demands. We're in this era where everybody's asking for
that's like Draymond Green even came out and said the greatest contribution that LeBron ever made was player empowerment to the sport.
Yep. So with that, that's the elephant that we got to tackle because we're in the day and age, if you listen to episode 20, or was that 32 or 31 when we was at James' house, and we was talking about
33.
And when I was talking about fan empowerment, now which is a new thing, I piggybacked that off of LeBron, player empowerment. But we're getting in this new millennium, not millennium, but this new decade, it's going to be a shift in fandom.
Right.
I don't believe that people are going to be diehard 100-year team fan. They're going to respect that team. They're going to remember that, but because of the way free agency is and players are trading, it's kind of hard to be into a team because of a player, and then all of a sudden that player is either left because voluntarily or involuntarily, and then you're still stimulated by that same team. Perfect example. I like OKC. I love OKC. I got family in OKC. I'm still gonna watch OKC. However,
are you?
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch them. I respect Sam Presti and what he's doing. I think that they're a great small market team. I'm just a little. I'm not upset. I know they had to do what they had to do. I like the Bulls and I like the Lakers. However, this year I'm all into Houston. I'm all about Houston, so there's no confusion.
But I think just from like a general fan standpoint, regardless of what team you root for, Houston's gonna be very interesting. So I think a lot of people are gonna have their eyes on Houston.
Yeah,
you know.
But for me as a fan, I'm gonna put my flag down with them, so that there's no question. Because you like to say I like 1,000,001 teams, and I do. I say I love sports. I love players.
But you embrace that. You're not like whatever. You're like. That's what I do.
I own it.
That's my thing. And you great point. You own it. So
give me a shirt with a bunch of patches and team emblems on there, and I'm cool. And I can tell you the reason why, and the city, and the air, and the weather at that certain time, and I'll break it down. Anyway, make a long story short, I was texting him last night, and Patrick and James, because I realized the NBA season is about to start on Friday, and it actually started last night. I lost my mind. Monday Night Football was on, and I was excited to watch the Houston Rockets play the Shanghai Sharks.
And you put money down in the game on Vegas.
Yep. Plus 75 points, Shanghai Sharks to win.
Wait, was that why when you texted me it was like
plus 75?
The name that you said, I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
I thought you were making a joke. I didn't understand.
Nope.
That was actually the name of the team.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Shanghai Sharks.
All right.
And I was going with them plus 75 points. I made sure,
Wow.
and they almost pulled it off.
Yeah. But wait, I think we're losing focus on the. So we have 4 guys.
Yep.
That
all ask for trades.
Are strong arming their way out of their contracts. Yep. So we have Jalen Ramsey, Antonio Brown,
Anthony Davis,
Jimmy Butler.
And who was another player? Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon.
Gordon. So
the running back for the Jets, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
So you got all these guys that's leaving teams, and the question I want to ask you guys is, when players leave, do they leave to be the man of the team? Like, I want to go because I'm not the man of this team, but if I go there, I'm gonna be the man.
But you say, and Kyrie did that too when he left Cleveland to go to Boston. That was his reasoning. Yeah.
Yep. Now you look at someone like KD. KD left OKC to go win a championship. He pulled off the LeBron. To me, LeBron went to Miami, like college, to learn how to win. But in LeBron's case, LeBron planned on coming back to Cleveland and bringing what he learned back home. And then once he brought it back home, then he was all about him and branding himself in Los Angeles. So that was his strategy. Certain players leave to either be the man, they leave to either win a championship, or they leave to get paid. So if you got any players out there that you can kind of use as an example, we would love to hear that example from you. I'm going to use someone like Jalen Ramsey. I think Jalen Ramsey is already the man on his team. I think that he's forcing the trade because he wants to be with a team that can win the championship. It's not so much the cash. He's pretty much the owner of Jacksonville, has pretty much promised him everything.
Right.
He still wants to leave. He felt disrespected by Marone, but I think more than that, he runs his mouth so much that he wants to be able to be on the team where he can bag.
Well, he might be pushing the wrong buttons too when you run your mouth. And the question here is, do we agree or disagree with what these guys are doing? This, player empowerment movement. I'm all for. If you're a free agent, go ahead, go to whatever team you want. But when you're under contract and then you're running amok, and then you're sitting out and forcing, running your mouth about your team and whatnot while you're still under contract. If this were any other walk of life, like if you were, you worked for Target and you didn't show up for work, or you demanded, I want to get more money or something like that, you'd be gone. But in sports world it's different. Because these are different commodities. These guys are one of a kind players in some respects. Like Jalen Ramsey is a one of a kind guy, so he might feel like, hey, I can strong arm myself out of this contract because of how good I am. Other guys we mentioned, like Antonio Brown, which he really is a top 1, 2, or 3 receiver in the league, and he felt like he could just, hey, I just do whatever I want.
Right.
But then he went a little too far, as we all saw, and now he doesn't have a job right now. Then you got Jimmy Butler, who did that in Minnesota. During practice, remember that?
Yeah, I love that.
You like that? You like him running his mouth in practice?
No. I like Game of Zones. I'm a simple dude. He's really serious when it comes to certain things. I actually got a chance to see Game of Zones, which is a cartoon based upon what happened in Minnesota. And the way he sliced and killed everybody in Minnesota and demanded that trade to go to Philly. And to be honest with you...
But he was still under contract, right?
He was still under contract, but the thing was this. And this is where I...
So immature, man.
It was.
Go ahead.
But this is what I'm saying, leading back to Jalen Ramsey, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy wanted to play for a team that was actually trying to win ball games. That's why the trip to Miami throws a loop, because I thought that he was about winning a championship. He ended up fighting to get that trade to Philadelphia. To me, Philadelphia was going to be a great team to watch. I was hoping that he wasn't going to leave this year, and then he went to Miami, and it's like, okay. So you went to Philly to win a championship. You didn't win a championship. Now you went to Miami to be the man. Philly could have paid you, I think, either more than what Miami paid you, so it wasn't money. So you was the man in Minnesota just to end up being a man in Miami. So now you throw in a fourth piece to that. Is it location? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that just, I just think Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, he's back. Melvin Gordon's back. He tried to, strong arm his way into a new contract again, but I guess it didn't work.
Yeah, now he's disrespected now.
Yeah, and like you said, Eckler is running amok over there in LA. So he's not going to get a lot of play. He's on my fantasy, one of my fantasy teams, by the way.
Mine too. He's one of the best backs in the game.
I'm not going to start him. Wait, he was able to play on Sunday.
Yeah.
He didn't play a lot. I don't know if I'm going to start him or not this weekend.
He put up almost 25 points.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on the bench.
He killed. He been killing for the past.
Gordon played?
I got
Eckler.
No, you got Gordon. I got Gordon. Oh, I got Eckler. That's how I know.
I got Gordon.
Yeah, Eckler is killing it.
Yeah. So now that he's back, is he going to split time with? Are they going to have to play him because they're paying him so much? How much are they paying Eckler? You know
I'm thinking if I'm San Diego, not San Diego. If I'm the Chargers, it's hard to stop saying that.
Yep, I agree.
If I'm the Chargers, I got to use him for trade. I got Eckler. We already know how the NFL treats running backs. Why do I need to cash out and deal with somebody that I got to pay this money to? Not that it's right. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying business. Get rid of him. Go shore up my offensive line. Get some good offensive line. Get some picks. Do something. He's a good trade. He's a trade piece, like how Nick Foles was in Philadelphia after he won. That's a great trade piece to shore up your team. You already got Eckler, who's younger, who can run and is producing the same thing. But in this case, that's another guy who tried to force his hand to try to get paid, like Le'Veon, and sometimes that doesn't always work.
Yeah, speaking of Le'Veon Bell, I've not heard one lick about him in New York.
Me either.
Supposed to be this really awesome running back. Nothing.
Yeah, he's more Donaldson right now, and yeah. I mean, he's doing okay, but he's not. He doesn't have the stage that he had in Pittsburgh.
Correct.
No, and that's just what it is. Certain areas they have the stage. I know you don't like it coming from Buffalo. Me, I'm used to it coming from Chicago. It's like any teams that we had was always on prime time, except the Cubs. But and the Cubs would be on because it was America's sweetheart, but it wasn't like.
It was daytime before they had lights.
Exactly, but prime time you see all Chicago teams, Bears, Bulls, and that type of stuff. So with that being said, you look at this guy now and it's like, man, he made a bad mistake by holding out all training camp because not only did he lose his position, but this guy clearly Eckler is if not better running back, just as good as him.
Yeah.
So
here you go. Next topic you had about playoffs. Do we have 8 teams from the West, 8 teams from the East,
okay, I like that. So
you just take the 16 best teams regardless of your division or whatever you're playing,
So again, this is the Zion effect right now that's going on. Zion is in New Orleans, and although I'm thinking football because I'm in the football season and I'm talking basketball with Zion, I'm using that because the NBA playoffs, I don't like the structure of it. I don't dislike it. People have told me and they gave me their reasoning on why East and West makes sense. And, I don't say that that's totally bad. However, you take Zion Williamson, you take, hypothetically using, say, Kansas City Chiefs as a team that is not in your top 4 or 6 teams that's picked for the wild card.
Right.
But they're right up underneath. They're better than teams that's on the other side of the conference. And they couldn't get in the playoffs because their conference is so tight. But another conference that doesn't have the same amount of wins is showing you games of players that you can really care less about.
He's basically saying a team on the East with a losing record will make it to the playoffs, but a team in the West will have a winning record but not make it to the playoffs. Is that fair?
Right. And I was trying to be transparent with it from basketball to football, so that's why I was going so slow with it. But I'm sorry for going so slow. But the point I'm trying to make is, we need to change that up. We need to make sure that the best teams are in the playoffs, whether it's college, football, basketball, or baseball. We need to break this conference and this divisional thing and just get the best teams in there because we miss out on the opportunity of seeing talent. And then what that does for a small market team or a team that has a superstar on there, if he knows that his team is not good enough to get all across that hump, he's gone, and he's going to a big time city or a bigger franchise. And
then on top of that, we have a team with a losing record, for example, coming out of the East this year in the NBA, which may or may not happen, probably may. But the 1 seed, facing an 8 seed who finished 27 and 44. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that's an easy win. But if you have a winning record team, being the 16th seed, right? You want to go 1 to 16, do it like that instead of 1 to 8, 1 and 8. Then it might be a better playoff series than just 4 games to nothing and then blow out onto the next. Yep. So from a TV standpoint, that might work better, and then they might talk about the game a little bit more instead of just being a pushover.
Right.
So that's just our opinion on that.
Yep. And just because we're fans and we like to see the game a different way.
Yeah. So that's like we were talking about last week. being the progressive or the modern sports fan, or bringing sports out of the dark archaic ages, and then bringing that to the modern forefront, you know?
Right. I mean, you could do a Futurama, like, as future fans. I'm already in 2020. I'm already in the spacesuit. I'm ready for it. I'm just ready for this new next level athlete, next level sport, next level. Whoa! Did you see that? Watching games in virtual reality, the whole thing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to go meet Lance Jetson. I'm ready for that right now. I'm telling you.
There you go. Well, we're going to pause this segment right now and go on to our last segment, the college football segment. Unless you have anything else to say.
No, sir.
Okay. Catch us on the flip side here. Okay.
Like and subscribe.
We'll be right back.